Bonjour, Anin, Tensi, and welcome back to the Anishinaabe Nation's Language and Curriculum Training, the conference. I am Jerry the Big Bear Barrett, and it's an honor to be here. Oh, look at all these delegates. 80 people have been joining us yesterday and today and more with special guests. And people have been asking, what about those prizes? When are you going to announce some more words? Well, we have 2 words in the Play to Win coming up as soon as we wrap up this. As soon as our presenter wraps up his presentation, it'll be the Play to Win code words coming at you. So get ready for that. We got some great prizes tonight. All right, our next session is, I love this, storytelling. It's storyteller Larry Beardy, originally from Bearskin Lake First Nation, and a band member from Muskrat Dam. And you know him. He was here yesterday. We know him, we love him. And live from Thunder Bay, right away. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. It's Larry Beardy. Larry?
Right on. Miigwech. Thank you. Bonjour. I will begin the story right away without rambling on about how important stories are in teaching for the kids, teachers, communities, our traditions and language and way of life. A lot of it is very important in that sense. And we could share a lot of information regarding that portion of it, that part, why it's important to use that storytelling and teaching. But I want to make sure I finish this story within the time slot I have. So I'm going to start right away. The story I want to share with you today is it's called How the Bat Got Its Wings. The bat, you know, that little furry little creature. Pakwanajis is what we call it in our language. So let's go on a journey together and hear the story, imagine and see how the story travels in your mind and your heart together with all of us. So very obviously a long time ago, out in the forest, there's all these animals that live together in the forest quite peacefully in most cases. They all got along. And all the animals spoke in their own languages, the way they sound when you hear the raven calling, the goose calling, the bear growling, and all the other animals in their own sounds. But they could all understand each other using their own sounds, their own languages. And so did all the people at that time. Now, the animals, they used to have meetings, get-togethers periodically throughout the course of the year. And at one time, they had been meeting, all the birds and all the animals were there. They had been meeting for 3 days. 3 days. Just to set things straight and identify any issues or anything that needed attention, and how to resolve things, how to get along, and how to make things better. And at that time, it was always the big animals that took control of the meetings. And they always had the final say as well. The smaller animals didn't really have much but saying those things. That was just a natural order of things at the time, or so they thought. And then that one time, somebody was squirming in the back where all the animals were sitting. And it interrupted the meeting. And then the bear, the wolf, the deer, the eagle, and all those big animals, they didn't like that. They didn't appreciate the disruption. So they went over where that commotion was coming from. And it was apparently a little frog that was not listening, that was disrupting the meeting. And they went over and they asked, "Yo, frog, what is the problem? Why are you disrupting this meeting?" And then the frog turned over, his big eyeballs wide open, and he's like, "You talking to me? You talking to me?" And says, "Of course we're talking. We're looking at you. We're talking to you. You're the only one that's disrupting this whole meeting." "You mean me?" "Yeah, you. What's up?" "Oh, well, in that case, if you want to know," and obviously you want to because you're asking me, right? "So I just, you know what? I'll tell you the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, all right? Here it is." And all the other animals are listening carefully, watching that little guy talking. They were curious what was going on. And the little froggy said, "Well, you know what? I think it's like every month we have to come here, all of us animals. And it's always the same thing. 3 days. We sit here all day on our butts until our butts are flat as pancakes. And that's not cool. We sit there, we don't get to say anything. All we do is just listen to the same animals, same speakers that run the meetings all the time. And they're talking about the same things month after month. And we're just bored. I mean, I say, "We are bored." And then all the other animals applauded in confirmation to what the frog was saying. They agreed. They're all bored because they just sit there and listen to the same speaker speaking. And then the bear and the wolf and the deer and the eagle, they all looked at each other. And of course, they didn't really see the little guy's point at first because they were the ones doing all the talking every month. But upon a little reflection, they can start to see his point and the confirmation from all the other animals sitting on the ground. And they kind of felt guilty about that. So they said, "All right, okay. So what do you suggest? What do you think would be better, better spent with the time you come and join the meetings?" And the little froggy says, "Well, here's what I think. I think instead of us just sitting there for 3 days and not participating or interacting with what's going on, I think we should pause the meeting at least once during those 3 days and do something different, sort of like a break from the sitting around and doing nothing. So our butts don't get flat." No, I'm just kidding. I don't care about that. I'm just saying we need a little, energizer thingy. to be pumped up and get excited, move around, get the oxygen flowing, get the blood going, and interact and mingle and chat with buddies and friends. So I suggest we should like play a game, all of us. We move around and have fun, scream and shout and let it all out. You know what I'm saying? All right. And all the other animals were nodding and they were in total agreement. That's a good idea. And the little guy says, so that every time we come to the next meeting each month, we'll be like all excited to come here instead of dreading it. He's like, do I have to? We'll be like, yes, we're gonna go and have fun again. It will be good. And we'll learn something good. And we'll have more support in what needs to be done after the meetings. So that's a good idea, right? And all the other animals, they're looking at each other and they're saying, I know, right? Yep, they were all in agreement. And they asked the little guy, so what do you think we should do then as far as playing a game or something goes? So that all animals and birds and creatures are involved. And the little guy is like, okay, since I kind of brought it up, I guess I should give you a picture or an idea of what I was thinking, right? So back in my pond with all the other little froggies and toads and whatever creatures we got in there, even the turtles, right? They're slow, but they're still pretty good. Yeah, in the water. And anyway, we should, we play a water ball game. It's a ball game. It's just, you just grab a bunch of, earthly stuff and put it into a ball. It's nice and light. You can like whip it around, like throw it around, because you don't want a big heavy rock because some of the players can't lift it up. So we play, all of us play together like that. So I suggest we should like play a ball game for all the animals here. And then all the other animals are like in agreement, says, yay, yay, right on, right on. That's what I'm talking about. And then they all agreed. The big leaders, the bear, the wolf, the deer, and the eagle, they were like, aha, this is gonna be kind of fun, Yeah, I can picture it now. And the eagle is like, yeah, I've always thought about that. Playing against each other in this big group, like, it's like two armies, right? So what if, here's what I'm thinking. And all the animals are looking at the eagle, because the eagle is usually pretty wise, right? Because he thinks of everything. And he got good eyes. Yeah, he sees what's going on. And he's got white hits, so he looks like an elder with wisdom, right? So they're all looking at him, and they're like, okay, what's he gonna say? And he says, he takes his time to speak, right? Because that's what wise people do, or wise creatures, right? And he's like, And all the animals are looking, and they're all like going, every time he opens his mouth to speak, they go, but the eagle doesn't speak until he's ready. But they don't know that. They're like, nothing. And they're like, hello. So finally the eagle says, I suggest we have two teams instead of picking, our own players and stuff like that, because that's kind of sometimes not fair. So I suggest we put all the animals that are four-legged, that walk on the ground, in one team. And all the animals, well, the birds, be in one team. The ones with the wings that can fly. So they all agreed. That's a good idea. I'm looking at the time. I got to speed this up. Anyway, you can stretch these stories into like 3 hours or half an hour or 15 minutes. So they formed the two teams. And at the animal team, the bear and the wolf and the deer, they said, we'll be your leaders because we're big and strong and powerful, because those are the kind of players that win games. Big, fast, strong. And we know what we're doing. So they made the bear the captain, because the bear is also very, very wise. And then the bird team, they made the eagle the captain, obviously. And they trusted the eagle. And they loved the eagle. The eagle got a big heart all the time. So the bear got his animal team together, and he distributed all the animal players into different sections, where there will be an offensive group and a defensive group and the goaltending group. And he and the team made a plan on how to play. They're going to use a lot of their size and speed to block those feather birds, because they know they can fly around, but they can block them because of their size and speed. They are pretty sure they're going to win the game. On the other side, the bird team, at the other end of the forest, they came up with their plans as well. The eagle picked the offense team, the fast birds that can like really go. And then the defense, the bigger birds that will try and block the animals. And then the goaltending birds. And they had rotation groups, different lines that will alternate. And then everything was all set. The bird team, the animal team were ready. And then they called up all the animals and they said, everybody ready? Everybody good? And then at the animal team, you could hear a squeaky little voice calling from the back on the ground somewhere. And it said, yo, Captain Bear, what about me? And the bear looking around is like, do I hear someone? And they all stopped and listened. And sure enough, Captain Bear, down here, what about me? And they looked around and they parted way a little bit. And there it was, that little critter. And with a little bat. And the little bat with his little round body, furry little body, like a pot belly, right? And he got skinny little arms and skinny little legs. Wait a minute. No, I'm not talking about myself, okay? I'm talking about the little bat, okay? And he's got a scrunchy face, right? And a sharp teeth hanging out and pointy ears. Not the prettiest little guy, right? And all the animals are like, they're like snickering because he looks funny, you know, with the chubby little belly, cute little arms and legs, and the scrunchy face. And like every animal that looked at him thought, he ain't gotta help our team, right? He's like, he's too little, you know, he's so small and kind of cute, ugly, right? And maybe he should like join the bird team instead, because we're gonna step on it and squish it if he's in our team. And the bear said, you know what, little bat, we'd love you to be part of our team, but it's just not possible because all the positions have been filled and the lines and everything. And we just can't give you a spot. But don't worry, I got an idea. Why don't you mosey on down over to the bird team? Maybe they have a position just for somebody like you. Yep. And the little bat's feelings were hurt. I mean, he did have feelings, no matter how small he was. He put his head down and he was like, his eyes were watering, and he knew that they didn't want him in the team. And he felt bad and hurt and stuff. He looked at all the big, beautiful animals with all their special strengths and speed and size and everything. And he's just not like that. And he felt very small and not very pretty. So he walked away. He's like, fine by me. All right, fine, fine. If you don't want me in your team, that's your choice. And then he walked to the other side of the forest. And he came upon the bird team. He heard the commotion of the birds, and they sound beautiful, all these bird noises and stuff. Finally, he got there, and he's like clutching on the big talons of the eagle. And he's like pounding, pounding. He's like, yo, Captain Eagle, Captain Eagle. And the eagle's like, I hear somebody. He's like looking around, and down there by his talons, he thought a little bat. He's like, yo, dude, what you doing down there, man? And he's like, I was wondering if your team could put me in your team. I want to join your team. And the eagle goes looking at him and said, dude, where are your wings? This is a bird team. And the little guy is like, he puts his head down and he's like, I don't got no wings. And the eagle goes, well, then you should be with the animal team. And then he started to like quiver and he started to, sniffle and start kind of crying as he's talking. He's like, I just came from there. And those animals, they're really mean. They're like making fun of my face and my bod. And they don't like me. They make fun of me and they don't want me in their team. They got everybody else in the team, but except me, because I'm too little and not very pretty, I guess. And they think I can't help their team, so they booted me out. My feelings are hurt, as you can see. And then the eagle and it goes, oh, geez, we feel sorry for you, buddy. That is horrible. That's cruel, mean, nasty, not cool. And then the eagle called on all the birds. Hey, dudes, look, this little guy, his heart's broken because, he's been treated real bad by the animal team and they don't want him there. So we should have him in our team, but he don't got no wings. And then the robin said, yo, dude, I got an idea. Why don't we see that old drum by the tree there? There's some skin hanging from there. Why don't we like get a piece of that skin and slap it on his back, and we can like maybe stitch it on his back and arms and stuff, and he got himself a pair of wings and he'd be like a bird like one of us, eh? And then he can join our team. And all the birds are like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And the bat is like, excuse me, what's this stitching thing that I'm hearing, like on the arms and back? And won't that like hurt and stuff like that? And by the way, that's skin. Those aren't feathers. You all have feathers. That's why you go flying and stuff. But skin don't fly, man. And the eagle and the birds are like, well, we don't have much choice in the matter here, but it might work. You just never know until you try it. And they said, let's do it. And they asked the little critter, says, do you want to be in our team or not? And he says, of course I want to be in your team, but not in the process of dying from it. And they said, all right, we'll be gentle with you because we know you're a little guy, but what gotta be done, right? So they grabbed pieces of skin, birds with the sharp beaks did all the work, cut it up, and they got pieces of string and stuff, and they got those little bone things to connect a line on and start stitching. So they grabbed a little critter and they grabbed both arms and slapped him on his belly. So he's lying on his belly face down. And they spread out his arms and stuff, and they got a piece of skin and stitched it on his the back of his arms and back. And I mean, while they were doing that, he was crying like a baby. I mean, he was in pain, right? I mean, getting stitched up, like that hurts, you know, like needles right through your skin to attach that skin on as a pair of wings. Anyway, when they were done, they grabbed the little guy and pulled him up, stood him up. He couldn't stand straight up though for some reason, and they looked at him and they said, man, he got short, skinny little legs. We forgot about that. But I think the wings are a bit too long, so they're touching on the ground, and it's keeping him positioned forward, so he can't really stand straight up. So that's kind of awkward, but hey, he can drag it, you know. He's a tough little guy, so he'll be all right. And they said, how do you feel? And he said, why don't we stitch some of that stuff on your back and arms and see how you feel? He said, of course I'm in pain. It hurts everywhere. And you expect me to fly with this? And they said, dude, you have the wrong attitude. You got to be positive. You got to try, right? So I suggest you start running as fast as you can with those skinny little legs of yours, and then flap those skinny little arms and try out your wings. And then you'll be like, boom, boom, up into your flying like a bird. Yep. And the little guy's like, yeah, right. These aren't feathers. This is skin. It's heavy, by the way. And he started running as fast as he could, and he flapped those brand new wings of his, and he fell on his face on the ground. That didn't work out too well. And the little guy said, I told you so. And then they came up to him, looked at him, and they said, you got to try harder. That's the problem. You just got to try again. You got to keep trying, and that's how you learn to do things. You don't just do it once and expect it to work right away, you know. And they grabbed him again, stood him up and pushed him, and he started running, and he's like wobbling all over the place. He looked ridiculous, and started flapping those skin wings, and they were flopping everywhere, and he fell face down again. And he just laid there, pretending he was dead. And the little birds came up to him and said, dude, you okay? No sound. And he's like, I think he's dead. And then he got up. He's like, I'm just kidding with you, but this ain't working. And they thought about it. And then the robin said, I got an idea. We're doing this all wrong. You know, all of us birds, when we learned to fly, we were up in the nest in the trees and stuff like that. And as our, wings grew bigger, our mama one day came down and fed us worms and whatever good stuff. And then she would tell us to sit at the edge of the nest and spread our wings so she could look at how beautiful they were growing. And without warning, she pushed us right off the nest. And as we were like plunging toward death, we spread our wings and flapped them, and then boom, we was flying. So that's what I think we ought to do, We should take this little critter way up to the treetop, and then we'll go throw him off from there. And then he'd be like flying like a bird. And the little guy's like, dudes, I can't fly. These are not feathers. These are skin thingies, and I can't fly. And you throw me off treetop, you know what's going to happen, right? Plop. I'd be like dead. And you guys will be like murderers. Yep. And the bird said, well, let's do it. So they grabbed the little guy and took him up there, and they threw him off. And he tried flying, but it slowed his flight, and he fell down on the ground, thud, and he was almost knocked out. And they came back, looked at him. You okay, dude? And he's like, yep. And then they dragged him back up to the treetop again and threw him off. And this time he knew he was going to die if he didn't do anything. So he flapped his wings as hard as he could. And then he was flying sort of like all over the place, not in a nice, beautiful way, but enough to call it flying. So he was on the team. And then all the animals and the birds, they started the ball game. And then they played so hard and fast that the animals were winning the game. They had the points. The birds were like, we can't do this. They're too big and strong and fast. And all this time, and it was towards the end of the game, the little bat was just sitting there. They hadn't let him play at all because of his wing issues, right? Finally, they looked at him and says, we should at least let him play because we're not going to win anyway. So they said, little bat, you are ready to play? And he said, yep. He said, I've been watching the game and how those bird teams, the offense and defense and goaltending works. I know exactly what to do. And they said, whatever. And they let him jump in the game. And then just give me the ball, okay? I know exactly what to do. And they said, okay. So when the face-off started, they threw the ball at him and he caught it. He jumped up and grabbed it with his feet because he's got like 4 hands, the hands and the feet, right? And then he's flapping his wings and he's zigzagging, flying like all over. The animals didn't see where it was going or coming because he's so small and he's like not flying in a straight circle or direction. And he scored. And he did it again and again and again. And single-handedly, he won the game. And all the animals were cheering for him, all the birds. They were lifting him up, going, my hero, my hero. The animals came over and says, we want to see your little hero. Who is that? Where'd he come from? And when they saw it, the eagle, the bear, and the deer, they said, it's that little critter that we booted out of our team. He got wings. And the bird said, yep, that's our little hero. This is the little guy. You broke his heart. You made him feel bad. You put him down, cut him down because of his size, and you didn't want him on your team. And he is the one who beat your whole army team. Just one little guy. Sometimes that's all it takes is the heart, the drive, and the support to do amazing things. You don't have to be big and strong and powerful or be like all the others. One little guy and the little bat strutting around. Yep, that's me. Be me. That be me. Yep. And that is how the bat got its wings. I had to speed up the last part because I'm out of time. Okay. I'm sorry for running out of time. I just want to say, amigos, thank you for listening. And I wish I had time to answer like a million questions. No, I'm just kidding. I see one. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for listening. And I don't want to waste any more of your time. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that, Larry. That was entertaining and of course educational. And I loved storytelling, and I love the way you acted out as well. And a lot of the viewers said, great story, and you're a wonderful storyteller, and they really appreciate it. So chimigwits to you.
Thank you. Adios.
All right. I hope to see you down the conference trail again.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Miigwech.
There he goes. All right, thank you so much. And I don't know, because I don't know if we have a play to win code word on this one. Maybe? Ah, there it is. It is laughter. Oh, well, there you go. Laughter is your play to win code word this time around. Make sure you jot that down and enter. We have the survey as well, so make sure that you do that. So this particular one, the play to win code word is laughter. And then we're going to have another word. We're making you work extra hard here with your pens and paper. Jot this one down. The next play to win code word is share. Share is the play to win code, not Sonny and Cher. No, that's completely different. Although I do believe she is Navajo. Share is the play to win code word on this one. So that's good. And so make sure you enter those words because we got some great prizes coming up as well. We're going to take another quick break. And then when we come back, it's games for children in language immersion. All right, so we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with games for children in language immersion and Chi Miigwech.